Well, hello everybody. This is John Unell from Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania, aka John I Fly. So, I trust that everybody had a good holiday. It's actually January 3rd already in the new year of 2021. The days don't take their time, they fly by. But anyway, trying to get my light a little better here. I don't want to be totally in the dark. But anyway, it's Sunday the 3rd of January. So I hope everybody had a good holiday. And I don't look back on that 2020. What a hell of a year it was. But I'm glad it's done. But we're having an interesting bang to the new year, I guess you could say. Because I had a sneaky suspicion that Donnie Trump was going to come back to Washington. It would be too good to be true for him to stay down in Florida. Better yet, get off the planet. That would be better. But he came back to Washington. And he plans on campaigning for, let's see here, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. I wrote it down this time. I never do remember their names, but yeah, he's going to campaign for them. He doesn't make sense because he says things, he's going to campaign for them. Oh yeah, get out the vote, and then he'll turn around and say, well, you can't really trust the vote, man, they have it rigged. I've never seen a person so screwed up in my life as this guy, but he's screwed up. But anyway, we have about 140 Republicans in the House of Representatives, and they're going to vote to object to the Biden Electoral College figures. So it just makes me wonder, why would you do that? It's very clear. They recounted the votes how many times, okay? And Joe Biden came out on top. As a matter of fact, I do have the figures here. Let's see if I can read my own writing. It says Biden won with 81 million, looks like 285,098, which is 51.3%. I hope that it's either a 1 or a 7. I think it's a 1. Yeah, that's bad when you can't read your own writing. But anyway, that's what Biden got, 51.3%, to Trump's 74,222,958, which comes out to 46.8%. And that includes all the 50 states and Washington, D.C. What more do they need to convince themselves? I think deep down inside they know. They know Donnie lost. But Donald is going to make a point to make it as hard as he can on Joe Biden and the Democrats. Let's make some theater here, the reality show type. And, let's just drag it on, and we do one thing, and well, I still think there's a rigging going on, and then they try something else. They only had it, recounted 3 times. They went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said this is what the people want. Donnie's not satisfied with that. But anyway, it's unbelievable. Just totally unbelievable. But this coming Wednesday will be the 6th. And Congress is going to be posturing on Wednesday. And this is the thing. They're going to probably spend all day because you know they're going to, oh, not only that, but the Senate now, get this, it was 11 senators, now it's up to 12 senators. They're also going to object. I believe they only needed one senator, and I'm not sure in the House of Representatives. I think they only need one House of Representatives guy, that Hawkins, I believe is him. No, I'm not sure. I think he's, yeah. I get them mixed up sometimes. I think Hawkins is Josh Hawkins, I believe his name is. I think he's in the House of Representatives. Anyway, they end up having 140 Republicans in the House. I know, like, one of them's going to be Jim Jordan. Like, wow. Should we be surprised? They're going to object, and the senators, 12 senators, are going to object. And they're going to drag it out. They're going to have a real shit show. A shit show. You know? And they'll have debates. I think they have, I think it's 5-minute debates for each. But in any event, it's going to be an all-day thing. They're going to drag it out. And then they're going to have the votes. And they're not going to win. Joe Biden's going to be certified. So, what's their point? Why are they doing this? Well, it's called kissing ass, okay? There's people in the House and there's people in the Senate. They have a career to think of. They want to be on Donnie's good graces, so to speak. And what better way than to, well, what the hell, let's object. Let's object to Joe Biden, even though we know the counts are there. It's in writing, it's been in the computer systems. He won! But we can't leave it there. We got to show our true devotion to Donald Trump, don't you know? So that's what they're doing. But I'm going to tell you something. The American people are watching, and the world is watching. Remember that. I tell you, I'm just flabbergasted at this whole stuff. They're really putting our country to shame is what they're doing. But they don't think of that. It's political career. Let's kiss Donnie's ass and get on his good side. I mean, after all, I have a political future to think of. So I don't know what other motive there would be except politics. They politicize everything. But Joe Biden's going to be our president. Kamala Harris is going to be our president. There's no question about it. But the thing that we got to get established is that runoff in Georgia. So with Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, they both have to get elected into office. If only one of them wins and one of them loses, the Republicans will have a majority in the Senate. So you people in Georgia, get out there and vote. Get out there as never before. You're going to have Monday, all day Monday. And of course, like I said, Trump's going to be there canvassing the state. I'm not sure if he's going to go to different places there. I think he will. I know Joe Biden will be in one area and Kamala Harris will be in another. I don't know if they're going to hit Atlanta. They'll probably go down to Atlanta. But trying to show support for the Democratic candidates. But they need to get voted in. My understanding is that there's already over 3 million people that voted early in the elections. I hope to God, I know they're not all Democrats, but I'm hoping that a lot of them are Democrats. Hopefully they got the black man's vote and the Latino vote. I tell you, like somebody said, I don't remember his name, but he said, I think he ran for office and he lost there. but offhand his name slips me. But he said it's actually a life and death situation. And when you think about it, he's right. Like they said before when we were running for the presidential campaign there, watching what was going on, elections have consequences, okay? When 2016 came along, for whatever reason, Donald Trump was able to bullshit his way through to the presidency. And everybody fell for it. Well, most people. I wouldn't say everybody, but a good bit of people fell for his nonsense. And they voted him into office. Oh, yeah, Trump, I'm going to do this. Man, I'm going to give you health care. And we're still waiting 2 weeks later. Oh, we're working out the details. We'll give you more. We'll give you health care. And then when Donald Trump was questioned about, oh, it's in the works. I saw one of the interviews today on CNN. Yeah, we're working on the details. Yeah. Okay. Well, here it is. He lost the election. Are the Republicans still working on health care? About 17 days left, and then Joe Biden will be taking the oath of office, and so will Kamala Harris. And still no mention of health care by the Republicans because they don't have any intention. They don't. You know? You want to talk about outright lying and bullshit, that's Donald Trump and his minions. So they lied. It just makes me wonder, are the people who voted him in, are they really seeing this? I mean, are they getting it through their skull that Donald Trump's a liar? And he's the true loser, by the way. He's so quick to call everybody a loser. Oh, Joe Biden's a loser. No, Donnie. You're the loser. Okay? You're the loser. So anyway, looking at this COVID-19 situation, man, for a disease that was supposed to just, well, first it was a Democratic hoax. I keep repeating it, but it's the truth, people. It's the truth. It was a Democratic hoax. And then when he realized, oh, well, it's a China virus, But it's going to be like a miracle. When the warm weather comes, it's going to go away. We won't have to deal with it anymore. Then, the economy will open up. Yeah. Well, here it is. The start of a new year. We're the third day into the new year. Did it go away? Well, I don't think so. Not according to the figures that I see here. Matter of fact, now, the U.S., just in the U.S. alone, the total cases is up to 20,353,421. Gee, does that sound like it went away? I don't think so. I think it went up a little bit. Just a little bit. And the deaths in the U.S. alone. Well, now, I had this at 349,709. It's over 350,000 deaths alone in the United States. We're not talking about the world figures yet. They're higher, of course. You're dealing with other countries. But, yeah, that's where we're at now. I heard on CNN this morning, they said, I think Great Britain's supposed to be doing a little better. Because these people take it seriously. Not like the dingbat in the White House that we have. He could care less. Matter of fact, I was looking online today. I didn't write it down, but he has plans for get-togethers and everything. He's lost, okay? He's out come the 20th, but he's going to do everything he can to stir the shit, okay? Get that base all riled up, and I think he realizes now that he's going to be out after the 20th. After midday, afternoon, he'll be out, okay? But knowing Donnie and knowing his minions, he's going to be planning ahead. And you know that the Republicans, these idiots, the 140 that are in the House and the 12 that are in the Senate, you know, when all this debacle's over and we get down to business with legislation, and depending on how the Georgia runoff works out, hopefully we'll get our Democratic candidates in there. You know, at least we'll have a chance we can get Kamala Harris to be the tiebreaker vote. But if not, and the Republicans get it, it's going to be the same old shit. We may have a new president, but it's going to be gridlock all over. So you people in Georgia, get out and vote for your candidates. Get out and vote for Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. These are two fine people. I'm telling you. I caught the interview with John Ossoff today. Guy's doing good, you know. And I believe they have a plan. And we need to get them in. Because otherwise, I don't want to hear people bitching and complaining. Oh, our stuff didn't go through. I'm still waiting for health care. I don't know how I'm going to eat. And this. Well, I think it's obvious, people, who you vote for. Because elections have consequences. Do you really think the Republican Party cares for you? I'm sorry, but I think in my whole life I might have voted 2 or 3 times, if that, maybe 2, for the Republican Party. Because years ago I was involved in a church that today we call them the right-wing fundamentalists, and they're extremists. And, they're not supposed to get involved in politics, but they do. And I was falling for it till I see how they treated me. And thank God I got out of there, because they brainwash you. And they may not come out and say vote for so-and-so, but they strongly imply it. Well, that's what they were doing, you know. Well, anyway, that's what they're trying to do now, but I have a problem with that Franklin Graham. That's a whole other thing. I'm not even going to bring him in there. He said some stuff and all, but I just can't believe I look at these people and they're supposed to be so fine Christians. But here you have a president. I call him President because that's what he is. And, didn't matter how many times he got divorced, married, divorced. It didn't matter how many times he cheated on his wife. That's okay. He's God's man. Didn't you know that? God has him in for a purpose. Well, I guess God changed his mind now, because Donnie Trump's going to be out on January the 20th, and we get a new president. Man, I can't wait, I'll tell you. I've just about had enough of him. But anyway, Donnie he made a tweet today. Let me see if I can read this. I didn't want to put the overhead light on here because I don't want to glare. But anyway, I'm going to read this here. I wrote it down word for word. My printer cartridge ran out, so I couldn't print it out, but I have it saved in my computer. But anyway, Trump tweeted today, and of course every time he tweets is bullshit. So here's what he had to say. He goes, the number of cases and deaths of the China virus, now we're talking about the death figures that I just quoted before, over 350,000. This is what Donnie Trump, our glorious leader, said. Okay? You would think he'd be like, oh, man, we got to get this figure down. I feel sorry for the families that lost loved ones. Is that what he said? Well, here's what he said via Twitter. the number of cases and deaths of the China virus is far exaggerated in the United States because the CDC gov's ridiculous method of determination compared to other countries, many of whom report purposely very inaccurate and low. And then he has, when in doubt, call it COVID-19. Now that's what he's saying. Well, if you're not sure what it is, just call it COVID-19. That's what he's accusing the CDC of saying. Then at the bottom he goes, fake news. How do you like that? So he doesn't believe that 350,000's real. He thinks it's fake news. I'd like for him to talk to the family members that lost loved ones. I wonder how they feel when he comes out with stupid statements like that. Fake news, fake news. You know what I say? He's a fake president. Incompetent piece of shit. He didn't know, he was not incompetent, or he was not competent, I should say, from the beginning. From the time he came down that escalator and he started his campaign, everything was bullshit that came out of his mouth. He didn't care who he insulted, didn't care all the nonsense and lies he said, and the people fell for it. Well, he's still doing it. He hasn't changed. Well, anyway, I'll give you an example now. Just came across, I guess it was 3 hours ago or so. Breaking news on CNN. Wait till you hear this. From the Washington Post, they did an investigation, and they got some telephone conversation from Donnie the Dick. And he was talking to Georgia's Secretary of State. And I don't have it verbatim. You can turn CNN on and see it. They're probably all reporting it by now, except maybe Fox News. They're probably calling it lies. But basically, what happened is there's audio. They played the audio of Donald Trump. It shows Trump demanding Georgia officials find votes to tilt the election. And they were playing bits and pieces of it, okay? And I listened to, he asked a question of the Secretary of State. Trump asked, he said, did Dominion take out voting machines? That's what I heard, you know. And the Secretary of State said no. And then Trump asked him, he said, if parts were taken out of the machine, and the voting machines, and replaced. Says, it's my understanding they took parts out. Is that true? And he goes, no. He said, and the Secretary of State told Donnie, he said, the information that you have is in error. It's not true. And of course, Trump said, well, now you're a Republican. He said, basically saying, well, that this can't be the case. But you have to listen to the whole clip. But he was basically putting pressure. Not basically, he was putting pressure on the Secretary of State. He said, you're a Republican. You should know better, I heard him say, well, can't you find at least 11,000 some votes? He wanted the election tilted in his favor. And the Secretary of State for Georgia has morals and good standing, and he said no. So, they played the whole clip. It's not a long clip, but you get time, if you probably heard it on the news already, probably ABC probably has it. I know CNN's been playing it for, practically late afternoon. All this time they've been playing it. I put the TV on, they'll still have it on. And you know something? That's about all I have here. But this is unbelievable. Okay? When they were discussing it, they said, you know, it borders on criminal. That's what the one guy said. They were talking about it. And they said, well, there's a gray area there, okay? A gray area. He wouldn't come out and say it was criminal. But somebody else that they talked to, like I said, I should have wrote it down, but he came right out and said, yeah, it is criminal. Of course it's criminal. Now, what are they going to do about it? Now, he's going to soon be out of office. I wish the Democrats would pursue it. I wish somebody, Nancy Pelosi should appoint a committee. I mean, they're doing voting about her now. I believe they're voting for Nancy. I think she's going to get the speakership again. I turned it, well, I have it muted because I'm making this video, but I'll see if, I'm pretty sure she'll get the votes. They ought to get a committee and have them investigate. This bastard's gotten away with too much. And like they say, paybacks are a bitch. Now, we can't waste the whole administration on it, but hey, he did quite a bit of damage. And his minions are still doing quite a bit of damage. So, anyway, that's the breaking news. The truth's coming out. As a matter of fact, the Secretary of State for Georgia said it's going to come out. When Trump asked him about something, he said, well, the truth will come out soon. And this is the truth. So, Donnie needs to be put on trial, arrested, put on trial, and then if and when he's found guilty, which I'm sure he'll be found guilty, put him in prison. This bastard's no different than anybody else. He's gotten away with it long enough, and it's time to get his ass in jail. I think the whole country has had enough with him, and it's time to move on. We have a new year. We have a new president, vice president coming in. Let's move on, and let's make 2021 a wonderful year. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to show us exactly what the president and vice president are supposed to do. Well, anyway, I'm running low here on my space on my phone. But, yeah, let's hope these Democrats get voted in. That's going to be Tuesday. And CNN's going to start coverage at 4 o'clock. They'll be doing a lot of talking about it. But, then Wednesday is going to be the shit show day where we get to watch live entertainment on TV. And I urge you to tune in. People should watch how and take note. These people that are pushing this shit ought to be kept in line, their names put down, and people should never forget because they should be taken out of Congress. Without a doubt. All right, well, listen. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll be making a rant soon. I take it day by day. I usually try to get one a week. The way things are going, maybe I'll be able to do more, but I like to leave a little time accumulation because then I can talk to about several things at once. But anyway, okay, have a good night. It's going to be the first full week starting. Let's make 2021 the best year yet. Get out there and vote in Georgia, okay? All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.